don't say, born to play. Every day don't say. Hello.
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Focus On. Tonight, my guests are Jessica Alexandra Green and Laura Dowling Shea, and we'll be talking about their new project, Scratch This. Today, we'll be talking about the movie making, and we have a different subject each week. And I know that a lot of people have asked me to get some good talent into the studio to talk about projects, and I brought the best in today to talk to them, and hopefully you'll be enjoying it as we speak. So first of all, though, Jessica, Laura, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
I know you're both very busy, and I know the project Scratch This, we're going to be talking a lot about that because I know it's been a big hit. It's won a lot of awards, and I know everybody who's watching the show is going to be rushing to see it, after our conversation today. But before we get into our conversation, maybe I should tell everybody a little bit about both Jessica and Laura. Jessica is an award-winning actor, director, and editor who loves being a storyteller and excels at putting together compelling stories that move the audience. She is the owner and lead editor at JAG 42 and Demo Reels for Actors, a proud member of the Brazen Giant Assembly, and a creative team executive at IFT Network, a new streaming network for indie film, series, and theater. Laura is a film and television actor who has appeared in films that have screened at the prestigious British Film Institute and the Hamptons International Film Festival. She has also produced award-winning projects that have been streamlined on Showtime and DirecTV. She believes that if you are a creative storyteller, the medium is irrelevant. She is the founder of Jupiter House Productions, and I'm very thrilled to have both of them in the studio tonight. So, with that said, great backgrounds, both of you, a lot of accomplishments. So let's talk a little bit. You both originally are actors, and how did you go from being an actor to becoming filmmakers?
You want to take this first?
Well, yeah, mine stemmed out of being an actor. One thing that actors need to promote themselves in addition to headshots and resumes is a demo reel. And I was not liking the work I was seeing when I would send my materials off to an editor to get my demo reels edited. So I decided that I should learn to edit.
Okay.
So I did. Started editing my own reels, editing my friends' reels. Eventually I opened a business editing reels. About 3 weeks after opening that business, a friend approached me and said, "I have 3 short films, will you edit them?" I said, "No, I don't know anything about editing a film." He said, "That's okay because I don't have any money." So we edited the films and it went really well. I really enjoyed it and the films came out great. So I started doing more and more of it, and within 6 months I was editing full time.
Wow.
So from editing came directing. I always say if you take an actor's brain and an editor's brain, you have a director's brain.
Okay.
And producing just sort of came along with that as well. At the indie level, you get in the trenches and you get done what needs to get done.
You learn everything.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because you have to eventually put it all together.
That's right.
Right. And how about you, Laura?
Well, like Jessica, I was an actor first, and I realized at a certain point that I needed more footage for my reel so that I could showcase my talents and show people what I was capable of and how they should cast me. And I got involved in 48-hour film festivals where sort of lots of creatives come together and they make something very quickly.
Right.
And it's a very quick way to learn how to make a film. And I had worked in business for many years, so the production side came a bit naturally to me, and it turned out to be so pleasurable that I kept making things. I enjoyed it so much, and Jessica ended up, being an editor on my first project, which is now, went on to be picked up by DirecTV, my very first short film. So
Very nice.
It felt like, okay, this door opened, let me walk through it.
Now, what was picked up by DirecTV?
Great Expectations.
Great
It
Expectations.
was written by Dorothy Marsick, and
Very
it was
nice.
my very first project.
That's great. And I know you both have worked on several projects together, and I guess, how did you come about meeting each other and deciding to work together and, deciding that this is a good partnership?
Yeah.
Well, it came right off that project. So
Yeah.
in the 48-hour film festivals, typically you have a team that is for that 48 hours, and you do what you can do, and including the editing and the post-production. And then Great Expectations was such a little gem. I felt like it could go further. That I could take it, and just instead of having clips for my reel, that maybe it had some legs. And so I needed to engage an editor, and I hired Jessica. And we
Yeah.
loved working
Yeah.
together, so we just kept doing it.
We did. We really clicked, and we realized that we sort of speak the same language. We approach things in a similar way, so it was a really good fit. And just naturally, we started producing together because we wanted to work together more.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, I talked a little bit about, in the introduction to the show, talked about Scratch This.
Yes.
And maybe we can talk a little bit about Scratch This and tell the audience what Scratch This is all about and how the idea came about.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Scratch This is the story of 3 self-centered sisters, 2 of 3 here.
Yeah.
2 or 3 there. Who's the third?
The third is Jessica Shea.
Okay.
They just can't overcome their sibling rivalry, and it results in riotous physical comedy. I don't know, Always Sunny in Philadelphia meets I Love Lucy, something like that.
Where did the idea come from?
Well, we were just wrapping up a project, and we were having a phone call, pretty sad that the project was ending, thinking
Right.
we should, do something else. And Laura got an email while we were on the phone.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my goodness, this is an HBO competition for a short film. We have 2 weeks to make it. Want to do it?"
And I just said, yeah, without any thought.
Sounded good, right?
Sounded good. And
Yeah.
then we thought, okay, who else do we want to work with? And I think Laura said, how about Jessica Shea? And her and I go way back as well. We were both Wynn Handman students for years together.
Okay.
And so, I jumped at the chance. We brought her on.
Yeah. And all 3 of us actually were Wynn
Yes.
students.
Yes.
So we sort of all 3 speak the same language
We do.
as actors, for sure.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it in like 2 weeks, I think. The
Yeah.
whole thing
Wow.
from start to finish. The pilot.
Yep.
So who wrote the script for the pilot?
Oh, that was such a writer's room experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
we all did.
Yeah.
We sat together and came up with all the storylines, and eventually for the series we sat together at a later date to sort of flesh out the entire arc of full first season.
Yeah.
So it was great. And so we sort of shot it as a short and realized there's a lot more to this story.
Right.
And took it to film festivals where it did very well. We won the NYWIFT grand prize
Yep.
for it, and decided that, we need to keep going.
Yeah.
So we turned it into a series.
Yeah, you both have been the whole thing. I mean, you've been winning a lot of and getting a lot of recognition, for it, which is great. The more it's seen by by different eyes,
Absolutely.
the better it is, and showing it, not just, locally, but also nationally or internationally. So it's getting a lot of views and a lot of recognition. So congratulations, that's really
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
So much. It's
You know.
such a fun concept. The 3 sisters, the chemistry between us on and off screen is pretty amazing. So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun to do.
Now, you don't always see women doing, like slapstick, violent humor, comedic violence, So, and you have to a certain degree, some of it is innate and some of it's learned. So, where did you learn this technique? I mean, if you watch it, then you're saying, well, where did they actually learn this? Or are they really acting, not acting?
For me, I'm theatrically trained, so part of that is stage combat. I've learned that all through school and coming up.
Okay.
But of course, it's slightly different for film, and we had a lot of help with this particular series from Adam Auslander.
Yeah, Adam is a Barnum and Bailey trained clown, and very adept at teaching how to create the appearance of this violence that we do. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
And the camera helps, right?
Yes. You can cut at the right time before
Yeah.
anyone gets hurt.
But it's always
helps.
Yes.
Always helps the duck.
Yeah.
right. And
right.
it's always fun to be in an audience when certain things happen and you hear the
Yeah. That's probably one of our favorite parts is
Yeah.
the shocking moments. Because, we're not typically the people that you think would start beating each other up.
And that was
I don't
kind
know,
of
you
the
gotta
point.
watch the quiet
Yeah.
ones, you know?
Yeah.
But that was really kind of the
Yeah.
point, was like, what is it that we can do that's fun for us, that nobody probably will hire us to do? Let's do it for ourselves. And I really wanted a chase scene. I really wanted fights, and we all were like, yeah,
that's
let's
fun.
do that.
Let's do it.
What's the most outrageous thing we can do? So we did that.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to see some of that right now because we do have a short 60-second clip from Scratch This. So let's look up at the monitors and we'll take a look. Here's a clip from Scratch This.
Run, Kristen, run, and hold on to that ticket. If your sisters catch you, they're gonna kick your ass. You think you're catching up, but your pantyhose are slipping. Yeah, you look in shape, but you're really not that fast. It's just like 7th grade gym class when you did the 100-yard dash and you threw up on the cafetorium floor. You go back running down the hill. When your heel snaps, you'll be killed. You won't need that damn money anymore. You all have issues. Should've worn more comfortable shoes. You didn't stretch, so you'll probably pull a hammy. You better pick that up. They're gonna kick your butt. You should split that birthday present from your mammy.
That was great. I really enjoyed watching that. I've seen it before,
you.
but every time I see it, it's great. It really is.
Thanks.
Now,
Thank you.
I know you play sisters on camera, you know, and is your relationship similar off camera? Or do you have sisters that you're just, remembering, do you have a similar relationship, that we see on screen off camera?
Well, it's sisterly.
Yeah, I
But-
think so.
We don't beat each other up. But
No. I've never hit Laura when the camera wasn't rolling. Yet. But no, we definitely,
Yeah.
we confide in each other. We work well together. We like spending time together.
we like to travel together.
Like to travel to festivals and whatnot, and
Right.
we giggle a lot. So I
Yeah.
think in many ways it is very sisterly. And our third sister, Jessica Shea,
just
as
gonna say
well.
that.
I mean, when the three of us get together, it's a good time.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
It is.
Yeah.
It sounds like it. It looks like it.
We
We
actually.
certainly
like
have
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Are you living out some of your sisterly fantasies through the comedic violence, or?
Well, I come
Laura
from
might be.
I come from a big family. I'm the oldest of 5, and I have 2 brothers right near me in
Okay.
age. And we were very physical in that way as kids. And I think a lot of kids are, especially from big families. And we get that feedback from audiences, like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I thought my family was just like that," or "My aunt and uncle, my aunt and her sisters." And we get a lot of people really seem to relate to that kind of physicality, but they don't expect it in the adults. Like, you expect little kids to rough and tumble.
Right.
But the fun, unexpected bit is that we're grown women. And we're still doing it.
And we're still
Those-
fighting over, this is mine.
Those patterns are hard to break, right?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, absolutely. So, is there anything in Scratch This that's based on real life experiences? beyond what we've already seen?
Yeah, I mean, we had such a wonderful experience in the writer's room. We basically locked ourselves in an office for a couple days and
Okay.
came up with everything. So there is very much part of all of us
Yeah.
in every episode and in all of the characters, I think.
But I think the piece that where you see it is in the poignant moments. Like, it was really important to us that there be some poignancy, that there be some groundedness around. They really do care for each other.
In
They
developing
just
the characters,
Yeah, they just can't help themselves to
Right.
revert to this kind of mayhem. Nothing quite ever works out
Right.
the way they would like. So
Right. So I think one of the things I wanted to ask you was that, you've had many other projects, I'm sure, that, you individually and collectively have worked on. Maybe we could talk a little bit about those projects and any projects that you're particularly proud of that, we want to talk about right now.
Sure.
want to go first?
Sure.
I'm looking in the middle because I don't know who.
Yeah.
So I'm looking between the two of you. That's why I'm looking that way.
Well, we're trying not to fight over
Right,
who
we
goes
don't wanna-
first. We're
Right.
being polite right now
Oh.
and
You mean
not
the
turning
polite.
into the sisters.
Okay.
If you want us to drop into character, we can.
Just don't hit me. Okay. Just don't hit me.
Yeah.
Don't break up the
You've
studio.
got the desk to keep you safe. You're all right.
I can hide under the desk.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go first. So I have a lot of different facets to what I do: actor, director, producer, editor. I would say the project that was the most awesome experience for me as an actor, and definitely was the most growth, was a feature that I was the lead in a few years ago. It was called Finding Virginia, and I played the lead character.
Okay.
And it was based on a true story of a woman who was kidnapped and in Decatur, Illinois, and eventually was found deceased. And it is the imagining of what happened in those 24 hours between the time that she was taken and the time that she died.
Right.
So it was definitely a very heavy journey, but a wonderful learning experience, amazing cast and crew. I'm very proud of that work. And then as a director, I would have to say, they're all my babies, of course, but I have two films that are especially close to my heart. One is called The Prime, which was written by Jimmy Pravasilis, who also stars in it. And it is an Orwellian post-pandemic society that we shot, I want to say in 2018, so before COVID was a glimmer in anyone's eye. And it is definitely very much topical these days, and it's sort of making a resurgence because it's so on point.
Right.
That was a very fun. 1984 was my favorite book since I was probably way too young to be reading it. So that was a really great experience. And then the other, as a director, is a film called Better Dead Than Red, which I co-directed with Larry Daggett, who also wrote and starred in it.
Okay.
And it is a film noir comedic musical.
Okay.
And let me just say, it was the most fun to shoot. We had such a great time. And it was just, going back in time and having all the costumes and even the, the little sayings, because you have the detective, the stereotypical, but making fun of all those. And it was a great time, and it came out really nice, so I'm very proud of that work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Laura?
Well, as a producer, Fluidity was probably the most ambitious and fun to work on. It's a feature film that was on Showtime, and I was working with Linda Yellen, and she's a very accomplished producer, director, writer, and it's the story of 10 millennials whose lives are intersecting through their technology and their sex lives, but they don't know it. And it was timely, and it was shot in the 5 boroughs of New York, so that was really cool. And I'm hoping that has a long life because it's a really worthwhile message about that particular generation and how they live and how technology influences the way that they live. And then I was in a short film that went to BFI London and the Hamptons Film Festival called How to Make a Bomb in the Kitchen of Your Mom. And it was shot on how to make a bomb
Yes.
in the kitchen of your mom.
Oh, in the kitchen of your mom. Okay.
Yeah. And it was filmed on black and white film, which nobody really does anymore. And Shakti was the director and writer, and it was just a great experience to be cast in something like that. And then, meeting people throughout the screening process and that sort of thing was great.
Was it shot in black and white to give it a old-fashioned look?
Yeah, that was her
Yeah.
vision of it, and also it was part of the story itself, part of
Okay.
telling the story of this family. It was almost could be mistaken for a documentary, but it wasn't. It
Right.
was really a lot of fun to work on.
It's great. It's great. So, every time I'm thinking about Scratch This, I'm thinking about that clip. So, I'm just wondering what's coming up on the horizon for Scratch This. What are we looking at?
Well, we've had some really exciting things happen recently. We just were at the New Jersey Web Festival, and we won Best Ensemble there.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Neem Basha is the festival director there, and just I've been every year that they've had the festival, and it's such a fantastic experience. And then I just got back from Bilbao, Spain, where Scratch This was in Bilbao Series Land. And we also won Best Ensemble there.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that was definitely quite a treat. It was our first international recognition. So really fun and just really cool to meet the festival directors, Rose and Oliver, but also the international creators. And to talk with, there's people from France, from Russia, from Germany, obviously Spain, and just to come together, and we had so much in common.
Right.
And just appreciate each other's work. That was great.
And we did just screen at the Angelica Theater in New York City.
Oh, Angelica,
Yep.
the train station runs underneath it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And that
Subway,
was
yep.
really great to be, I mean, again, to be in an audience and hear the reaction. I like to sit in the back and like watch everybody and see if they're laughing.
You want to
when
see
they
the
laugh.
faces, right? Yeah.
I'd love to see their faces,
Yeah.
but so we're hoping to do more screenings, and obviously we don't have it online. We
Okay.
like the idea of it not being seen readily, and so it
Right.
really encourages people to come out and watch it when it gets into festivals and that sort of thing. But the web series community, the creators in this community are just phenomenal, and so much collaboration and goodness globally going on. It's fantastic. So we're hoping to be in a lot of other festivals and travel around with it and have it seen.
Yeah, we're very much at the beginning of our festival run right now.
Okay.
And there's a lot of things that we're looking forward to submitting to.
Yep.
We can't wait to submit to Nassau when that opens
Ah,
up.
NASA Film Festival.
Yeah.
One of my personal
yes.
favorites.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
So,
from many years ago, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but, and obviously as the festival director of NASA, I highly encourage you to submit, but also know the quality of the product that you put out. So I'm sure if it's anything like, past projects you've done, I know it's a good quality. So I never worry about that.
Thank you, Lou.
I think that it's amazing. And is there any plans, any more scripts in line to
Just talking about that on the way
To
here.
scratch this, to,
Yeah.
We do. We have a whole
Season 2
second
is coming?
season
Season 2?
outlined.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a walk on them then. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Hey.
That'd be awesome.
As long as
That
they
would
didn't
be
get hit.
cool.
As long as
Well,
they don't
I
get
have
hit,
to
you know?
say, you'll have to
Well, that might disqualify
part-
you right there.
See that?
Yeah, no, but it's really dangerous to be on one of our sets if you're a guest.
Well, not dangerous.
Not dangerous in the literal sense.
Sense
No.
of the word. No.
But it'll look dangerous.
It'll look dangerous when done, right?
That's
Yes.
right. That's
When
right.
done. That's
Ask
great.
Adam.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Poor thing.
So let's talk a little bit more about each of you, both as actors and filmmakers. And do you have any, future projects or things you would like to do in the future that, what your vision is, for the next, couple months, years ahead, and, maybe we could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Jessica, would you like to go first?
Sure. Well, besides more Scratch This,
Yeah.
I have a couple of projects that I am scheduled to direct that are slated to begin pre-production in the spring.
Okay.
2 films, so that's very exciting. And also, I am a creative team executive at IFT Network, which is a new streaming network for independent film, theater, and series.
Okay.
So that's really exciting. We're just, getting going, getting on our feet. We're bringing in some really fantastic, high-quality, independent work. So it's
Nice.
an exciting journey,
Nice.
definitely.
All different types of filmmakers too, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great too because it sort of brings everything together. There's people I've met on the web series and film festival circuits
Right.
that now their stuff is streaming on IFT because we made that connection sometimes years ago.
Okay.
And I just call them up, hey, what's going on? What are you doing with your show? You want it to stream? And I put them in touch with our CEO, Jay Cruz, and
Nice.
it's great. It just brings the worlds together, and And we're also doing writers' rooms to start creating original content, which is really cool. And it's just sort of everything. It's not just a network. It's
Right.
it's a community.
It's
a
really
community.
wonderful, and
Yeah.
two of my films are streaming on it. And Jessica Scher, our third sister, has
Right.
her show Betty Davis Ain't for Sissies, which is a live
Yes.
show, is also was filmed and is streaming on the network, and it's really fun.
Guys should do a podcast.
Maybe we should.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
You know, it would be very interesting. I think you'd have a nice, large audience all the
yeah.
time. You know, to reach out to.
That's a
Sounds
good
like fun.
idea.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. While I was
like
listening
that.
to you, I just thought about it, and I said, you know what? It's probably good. It's probably good.
Do you want to produce?
Oh, sure. I'll produce.
All
it.
right.
All right.
There we go.
And I'll be the
Cool.
executive producer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But I think one of the things that you know, I do enjoy talking about, and I ask all my guests this. So, you know, over time, obviously there have been some role models in your lives that, when you reflect upon, they had some influence in either shaping what you've done or shaping you as a person, shaping you as a filmmaker. And I was wondering if you could share with our audience an individual or individuals in your life who served kind of like as a mentor or role model to you, you know, as you move forward in your career.
Yeah, that's a great question. I've had the good fortune to have many over the many years, and my first real mentor was a man by the name of Jack Lawson and his wife Marty, and they taught at a community theater. I mean, a community college where I had been going to school, and that theater department was I can't imagine a better one. Like, the preparation that I had
Right.
was conservatory level in a community college, and that
Nice.
was out of the goodness and the talent and the dedication and the passion of Jack and Marty. And I owe so much of my training to them. Oh, I didn't expect to get emotional. And of course, they've both passed. They've both been gone for a while, but I'm still in touch with their son, and he's an actor out in LA, and I hope he and I are hoping to work together at some point. So that was my first experience with really working with people at a really young age. I was like 18, 19, who believed in me and who let me know that I could do it and that I had talent.
Right.
And it was wonderful. And then I've been lucky to have other people along the way who equally supported me in that way.
Wonderful.
Working with Linda Yellen on Fluidity was wonderful. She's a masterful producer, writer, director.
Mhm.
And I was very new to the business, and she brought me onto her team. She had directed one of my shorts, and we loved working together, and she asked me to join her producing team for Fluidity. And I call that my undergraduate in filmmaking. It was, feature film, New York City.
Right.
And she also believed I could do it. And I, like you with the editing, I was like, I've never done anything like this before.
That's
And I
great.
think that's what you need, is people who see something in you that maybe you don't even see yourself,
True.
and foster it in you. So.
How about you, Jessica?
I had a wonderful mentor. We actually already mentioned him. Laura studied under him as well. Win Handman, who unfortunately passed away last year from COVID. But he, I'll just make it quick. He is somebody that just, when he believes in you with his whole soul. And he's
Right.
so supportive. And it was a wonderful experience. That's all I'm going to say about him, because I'm
great.
clearly still.
I know both of you knew
Yeah.
him, and
Yeah.
he will be missed dearly. And but I think he'd be so proud to know what you're doing right now and what you've put together, and what you've accomplished, and will continue to accomplish, hopefully, in the years to come.
Thank you.
So it was wonderful having you on the show. It really was. And so Jessica Alexandra Green, Laura Dowling, Shea, thank you so much. And everybody who's watching, watch this or scratch this and go see it. If it's not at a film festival, go see it online. Is there any way they can get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you?
Yes.
How can they reach you?
Yeah, through Instagram.
Facebook and Twitter. Scratch This, the series.
Scratch This, the
Yes.
series. Okay. Go watch it. Scratch This, the series. I'm Lou Goldstein. Thank you for watching tonight. Until next week, stay healthy, stay active, stay focused, and I'll see you next week on another edition of Focus On. Have a good night.
vérité, donc